FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
Coming back around to citizen science, do you see any particularly productive areas where we can be recruiting people in the way that the web has shown us so effectively it can do, into actually helping out with the process of science?
One example that I think is poised to happen is, and it's a variation of what is going on with patients like me, 23andMe, is where individuals with a rare disease band together and say, we're all able to contribute our knowledge to a specific disease. And we're willing to contribute not only our clinical information, what it feels like, what we're doing in a daily basis, at a level of contribution that can't possibly be what sits in a physician's office, because it's real time. I'm going to take an example like Alzheimer's or Lou Gehrig's disease or something like that. And the patients say, I'm going to track all of these things and I'm going to put it into a database where how I'm feeling, and I'm willing to stick my finger into the following machine and give this sample because I want to know what's going on. So I think it is likely to come from advocacy groups that say, we care too much about this and people aren't tracking us, and we'll track ourselves. And so I think it's clinical information, but I also think it will get to the level of providing samples, getting genomic information that will, that will be one of those tipping examples where then people go, well, if they did it, we should do it, and we should do it, and we should do it. But I think that's within the next 3 years.
It's interesting. I've just seen an example of this in a very informal way. There's a pet diabetes wiki. And I was showing somebody, they said they couldn't believe there was such a thing, but there's a community of people whose pets have diabetes, and I thought they were just there sort of sharing stories, and no, they're actually sharing very detailed data on drug doses and glucose levels as they measure it for their cat or dog or what have you. They don't have tools to do that in a really effective way. They're just sharing graphs and information, but they are motivated to put that information there, and they would love, I think, to have that go back to science in some useful way. So it's very interesting.
Well, so the sort of the democratization of tools, I think, is going to drive the citizen science that we get. So one place where we're seeing some movement is the idea that a community of sort of normal citizens can come together to mark up a Wikipedia entry on a disease or a topic space. Say you have a bunch of college students who have access to all of the articles that a given university does. They can basically take that and extract the facts from that knowledge corpus and put it into something like Wikipedia, citing the original article, and create something that's essentially a summary of the field that would have previously been an expensive review paper. So that's sort of one way to go. But then the more extreme version, I think it's called the Human Microbiome Project, and there's sort of a corollary, and it goes around sort of cheap microbial sequencing, which is, it's coming out of the Church Lab. And the idea is that you get a bunch of people together to sample their own microbial profiles, or to even go out and take swabs of all of the public surfaces at an intersection and do a geolocation of all of the microbes that are on all of the buttons for the crosswalks.
Is it microbiome.org?
I think it is. Yeah, it's Jason Bobie that talked about it. I mean, that's sort of really pushing the envelope that shows what can happen when the tools are democratized and cheap.
All right, thanks.